Welcome back inside of Bronco Roundup Game Day. We are at Maverick Stadium standing by with a Boise legend, KTVB legend himself, Mr. J. Tust. First off, thanks so much for taking the time. Welcome to Logan.
Yeah.
I mean, everything's on the line. We just talked about it with JD and the Bronco Roundup Rewind is that 2023. This feels so similar to that. You needed Fresno State to lose a game down the stretch and the door just opens wide open. Same thing has happened this year. What can you say just about the non-quitness or resilience of they've never quit. They continue to fight this Broncos football team.
No, you're exactly right, Austin. So in that game 2 years ago, as you guys know, Boise State got down in that game early. And so Spencer Danielson, interim head coach, down 10-0 on the road. And there's this moment where we're all like, oh, this could get really bad. And then they came back and they absolutely blitzed Utah State the rest of the way. And they go to a pretty big victory. And so after that game, we were deciding, hey, do we just want to get back home or do we want to stay in Logan for the night? And we ultimately decided let's get back home because the New Mexico game was on. And they were at Fresno, 23.5-point underdogs. So we're like, we'll just listen to the game and drive back home as it happens. Now, as you just said, Boise State needed New Mexico to go on the road and beat Fresno in order to have a chance to get in the Mountain West Conference Championship game. All the dominoes fell in the favor of the Broncos, and here we are today, still trying to ride that wave of momentum.
It seems like they've had, a lot of different opportunities to kind of put themselves in the driver's seat, a lot of peaks and valleys in this regular season. These two teams feel a little bit different than 2023. Boise State especially, but Utah State seems a little bit more disciplined than they were in 2023. How do you kind of view this one shaking out between the two programs?
Man, you know what? I've watched Bronco Mendenhall coach enough games, even back at BYU, to know Utah State's going to be ready to play today. And there's something about Bronco Mendenhall teams, they'll bring the fight. There was, clips from years ago where, maybe some of his teams had below-the-belt punches quite literally against Boise State teams. But what I'm saying is they're going to try to bring the fight to the Broncos, and the Broncos better respond today.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big-time opportunity. I kind of mentioned this with JD. Jordan Love played here. Max Gutford has a big-time opportunity here. Redshirt freshman quarterback trying to get his biggest road victory in his young career. What can you say just about the response from him last week and just the opportunity in front of him?
Well, I think that you see guys like this, Sire Gaines, Dylan Riley, even Seth Knott, the pride of Bishop Kelly, got into the end zone last week. That group's going to help Max Cutforth have success today, right, Austin? But once Boise State went 33 years in between victories by a local quarterback starting for Boise State. Now they're hoping to only go 5 days, right? He did it against Colorado State on Saturday. We're here today on Friday. Hopefully Max can do it again. I think the thing that I saw out of Max is something we all saw out of him. Just composure. At the moment didn't seem too big for him. His first couple of games in there, the game felt fast. It felt like he played fast against Colorado State.
Tust stats, that was what you did a lot. Hashtag Tust stats. What do you got for us in this game? What kind of stats can you throw out that maybe the average person isn't going to really know about this matchup or what's going to happen in this football game?
You know what? I think Sire Gaines is playing some really good football right now. We saw him rush for a career high 149 yards last weekend. He also had 4 explosive runs in that game. He now has 18 rushes of 10 or more yards this season, which is actually a team high. It kind of surprised me. I figured Dylan Riley would have had that title, right? But actually, it is Sire Gaines. Most runs of 10 or more yards on the team. Boise State's 5-0 all-time when Sire gets at least 15 touches. I think you look at November weather, it's cold. I think you're going to see Sire Gaines and Dylan Riley, for that matter, heavily involved in this game plan. Look for Sire to get 15 touches and maybe Boise State to go to 6-0 all-time. I even go back to Chris Peterson, what he would always say, even to this day. November separates the boys from the men. He calls it Boys to Men Month, right? We'll see if Boise State's got a bunch of men, or at least more than Utah State does at the end of this thing.
Boys to Men Month.
What's your favorite Boys to Men song?
I can't say that. We might have to coin that term, but let's go. I know you've done this before. How about predictions? What do you got for an actual prediction? Not just a score. Give me a game script on how this one plays out, first half, second half.
I think that you're going to see Utah State make this a game. I think it's going to be 3 points, something like that in the fourth quarter. I'll go 31-28, somewhere in that range. And Boise State's going to have to get a stop against the guy that many people are calling the Offensive Player of the Year in the Mountain West, Bryson Barnes. Guy can do it with his arm. He can do it with his legs. He also brings a Bronco Mendenhall-type toughness to the field. So I think it's going to come down to Boise State needing a stop against the potential Mountain West Offensive Player of the Year to get a victory today in the fourth quarter.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Jay Tust. Nobody knows Boise State athletics more than this man right here.
You guys are sprinting to catch up. You and Jordan doing a phenomenal job, Austin.
Really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Black Friday, everything. Yeah, we're all here.